You'll probably want to click off this video, because deep down, you already know the truth I'm about to say. It's the kind of truth that stings. Not because it's loud or shocking, but because it's quiet, personal. It hits a nerve you've tried to ignore. It's something you've felt deep in your chest, but never had the words to explain. See, every man who's ever been overlooked, undervalued, or used by a woman he gave his entire heart to knows this exact moment. That cold, sinking realization that no matter how much you gave, no matter how present, loyal, and emotionally available you were, she didn't value it. More painfully, she didn't value you. But here's the twist no one talks about. When a woman doesn't value you, she isn't afraid of losing you, not until you do the one thing that completely flips the script. Not by begging her to stay. Not by arguing or trying to explain your side. Not even by making her understand. But by transforming into the man she can no longer reach, even if she wanted to. This video isn't about revenge. It's not about mind games. It's about power. Not the loud, boastful kind that demands attention, but that deep, still, unshakable power. The kind that lives in silence. The kind that makes her feel the loss, the absence, the weight of what she lets slip through her fingers. I'm going to show you exactly what hurts a woman the most. When she finally realizes she no longer has access to the man she once took for granted. The one she treated like an option. Let's begin. Oh, and before we continue, I've got something special for you. A free ebook, The Female Mind Control Handbook. It reveals hidden insights most men never hear. The secrets to making a woman feel irresistibly drawn to you. You can grab it now, link in the description or the pinned comment. When you stop explaining yourself, here's a truth most men never get told clearly enough. A woman who doesn't truly value you will rarely, if ever, admit she was wrong. Instead, she twists the story, bend the facts, rewrite the past. She flipped the narrative to make it seem like you were always the problem. That you were the one who needed to change, to apologize, even when your only mistake was caring too much. She craves your attention, your energy, your willingness to forgive. But the moment you stop explaining yourself, that's when it truly hits her. The silence, the calm, collected stare. That powerful pause when she hurls her usual storm of guilt, and you say nothing. Not out of coldness, but because you're no longer playing the game. Why? Because the man who stops explaining is done trying to win. He's not fighting for someone who already made up her mind. He's not defending his name to someone who doesn't care about the truth. He's finished, and nothing cuts deeper than the realization that you've gone quiet, not just in words, but in your soul. You're no longer begging for understanding. You're observing her from a distance, not with bitterness, but with clarity. You're not cold. You're just finally clear. And that silence? It's louder than any argument, any plea, any message you ever sent. It burns. Because when you stop trying to prove your worth, that's the moment she finally sees it and understands she may have been wrong about you all along. But by then, it's too late for it to matter. When you prioritize peace over her chaos, you used to jump the second she called. Cancel your plans. Over-explain your feelings. Lose sleep trying to fix every little thing. You thought being available was the way to show love. You believed that being present, attentive, and ready at a moment's notice was proof of devotion. But then something changed. Something inside you shifted. You stopped chasing. You started setting boundaries, saying things like, "I'll call you later. I've got plans. I'm not okay with that." And suddenly, she panicked. Why? Because her control wasn't working anymore. See, women who don't truly value you often thrive on subtle control. They crave the comfort of your chaos, the emotional reactions, the constant proving, the endless pursuit. It reassures them that they still have influence over you. But the moment you go quiet, the moment you become calm, they feel it slipping away. Because when you stop engaging in her passive-aggressive comments, when you no longer respond to her cold behavior with heated words or desperate attempts to explain yourself, you take back your power. When you begin walking away mid-argument instead of staying to plead your case, when you stop letting her unpredictable moods dictate your sense of self-worth, that's when everything changes. That's when she feels the emptiness. That's when she realizes she no longer owns your peace. And trust me, nothing hurts a woman more than knowing that the man she once thought she could toy with has finally chosen himself. It's not bitterness. It's not revenge. It's restoration. It's returning to who you were before her approval became your compass. And now she's the one craving the chaos she used to command. 3. When you stop competing for her time, this one, it cuts deep. At first, you were always the initiator. You were the one planning the dates, sending the texts, checking in to see how her day was going. You made sure she felt special, relevant, desired. She made you feel like being in her orbit was a rare opportunity, a prize you were lucky to hold, if only for a while. And the truth? You allowed it. You played along for a time, until you single quotes T. Until one day, you stopped checking in. You didn't text good morning. You didn't reply right away. You stopped liking her photos, stopped being the first one to react to her stories. That digital silence, that physical absence, it was loud, deafening. And she noticed it far quicker than she expected, because women don't often realize how much attention they were receiving until it's gone. Until the one man they quietly overlooked no longer begs to be seen. And she may never say it out loud, but in her mind, the questions scream, why isn't he trying anymore? Who has his attention now? Was I ever really in control? And here's the twist, it's not about hurting her. You're not playing a game. You're simply done begging for basic effort. You've raised your standards. You've learned that your time, your energy, and your presence aren't rewards to be handed out to those who treat them like options. And when you stop competing for her time, she's forced to compare your absence to the presence of every other man she once prioritized over you. Spoiler alert, they don't compare. But by now, you're too far gone for her to fix it. The door has quietly closed without an argument, without a grand gesture, without a single wasted word. The most powerful move a man can ever make? Silence, peace, non-response. Not because he's angry, but because he's awake, now aware of his worth. If she couldn't appreciate you when she had full access to your heart, your effort, and your strength, she'll never forget the moment you withdrew it. No begging, no warnings, no explanations. This is Stoicism. This is power. And this is the part where she realizes she lost the man who stopped fighting to be seen. 4. When you stop reacting to her mixed signals, she used to love the gang. You single quotes ask, you double text. You'd try to read between the lines of her vague replies and mixed signals. And the truth? She got a kick out of it. Not because she despised you, but because she enjoyed the control. She liked watching you squirm, watching you question yourself, watching you try to decode her unpredictable moods like they were some kind of emotional puzzle only you were meant to solve. She liked the power. She liked seeing you off balance. She liked the thrill of knowing you were chasing clarity while she kept delivering confusion. Until one day, you stopped reacting. You stopped responding to her hot and cold routine. You didn't ask what was wrong anymore. You didn't send follow-up messages when she left you on read. You stopped playing the emotional detective. And that was the moment everything shifted. Because women who don't truly value you, they depend on your emotional reaction. It validates their importance. It feeds the illusion that they still matter to you. They thrive on the tension they create, the worry they stir, the chaos they bring. But when you go still, when you become calm instead of chaotic, everything changes. When you smile and say, "I'm good," and actually mean it. When you give her silence and don't rush to fill it with your overthinking. When you let her withdraw without chasing or questioning, without even blinking, that's when she realizes you've seen the game and you're done playing. That realization stings deeply, because for the first time, she doesn't have the upper hand. For the first time, she has to wonder. She has to overthink. She has to sit in the silence you created, and she has to live in the discomfort that she used to inflict on you. And sometimes, that silence, it's the loudest thing she ever hear. 5. When you start smiling without her, this one. It's a quiet heartbreak she never admit. You used to be the guy holding your phone, waiting for her name to pop up. You sent her memes to make her laugh. You wrapped your happiness around the hope that she'd respond, that she'd notice, that she'd care. You made her the sun in your emotional sky and let everything else orbit around her. But something shifted. Suddenly, you're smiling and she's not the reason anymore. You're out with friends. You're hitting the gym. You're focused on your career, your peace, your future. You post a photo or a story and you look alive, really alive, confident, centered, whole. And in that moment, she feels it. Not just regret but loss. Because the man she once dismissed, the man who waited in her emotional shadows, is now standing in the light, as she's nowhere in the picture. That smile of yours, it tells her everything. That she's no longer special. That her absence didn't break you, it freed you. And what cuts the deepest? Knowing that she never took you seriously. Until you started living like she never mattered. Now she checks your profile when no one's watching. She replays old memories like reruns of a show she once starred in. She tells herself stories. Maybe he still misses me. Maybe he'll come back. But you're already gone. And you're smiling without her. This channel is for men who speak less, see more, and move like they're not afraid to lose anyone who treats them like they're replaceable. Comment the word silence if you've ever pulled away and felt your value double the moment you stopped trying. Say it, let it echo. Silence.